Hey folks, man, this is Monk and we are back with another episode of Classes of Cinematics, and joining us all as my co-host, we got Bobby Blockbuster.
Yo, give me go.
Oh man, I guess y'all can guess what we're going to be talking about today, man. So today we do have Leprechaun from 1993. But before we get started, I want to announce that we do have a giveaway going on for you viewers out there. And we're going to be giving away a film poster. And in order to get this film poster, you will have to be a subscriber to the channel. Not only that, but leave in the comments of this video that you want a shot at the poster, you know. And I'll reach out to you, shortly after this video comes out to choose a winner. And, I'll ask you for your email. You can send it to me, but the poster that we're offering today is going to be for Shazam 2.
Nice.
And this film is going to be coming out soon, man. It's going to be in theaters March 17th. So we're giving you a full-size one-sheet poster. Am I getting the thing? I can't see.
You got to move. You got to move it up.
Yeah, there we go.
Wait, no, this way. Yeah, my man.
Yeah,
there we go.
So this is a full-size one-sheet poster, man. And we'll be sending this out to one lucky viewer, man. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Also, you want to help support us, man, definitely subscribe, but also click the merch links in this video. We will be having, you can go there and get Classes of Cinematics t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, refrigerator magnets, man, whatever.
Stickers,
there's different scales of support, man. You can't afford a hoodie, but you could probably buy a coffee mug. Can't buy a coffee mug, you could probably get a sticker, man. It all helps us keep this thing going and keep bringing you these classics of cinematics. Yeah, but we're not here to talk about Lucky Charms today. We're talking about leprechauns and that kind of rhyme. But so we're going to be talking about, again, Leprechaun from 1993. This is billed as a horror comedy, and this film is directed by Mark Jones. He probably doesn't want us to know that. And we got a cast here, man. It's pretty cool right here. Got a couple, well-known classic people, in this kind of film. This thing does have a cult following. This series has a lot of sequels. How many Leprechaun sequels had it?
I think there's 7 altogether with him. After he went to the hood, he went to outer space.
Oh, yeah.
So he's been everywhere.
Yeah.
That little let me traveling, bro.
Yeah. So we got Warwick Davis, who plays the notorious Leprechaun. This is also, I think, Jennifer Aniston's first film.
Debut film.
Wow.
Before she was a friend, she was hunting leprechauns. Ain't that some shit?
We've also got Mark Holton. You might remember him from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yes, Francis.
As Francis. So, also got David Permenter, Ken Olant, Robert Hy Gorman, Shay Duffin, John Volstad, John Sanderford. We got a Pamela Mant as well, William Newman, Brandon Sachs, and Tim Garrick. And that's funny because we got Brandon Sachs is credited as this little boy's voice, but one thing that stood out to watching this film, it seems like they had to go back and re-record a lot of the dialogue,
yes.
For whatever reason. Maybe they just had terrible boom mics or didn't have boom mics.
It was almost playing like a dubbed old school Godzilla film. Like you see their mouth moving, but the words ain't linking up with.
Yeah, that was really strange to me. But let's see. So in this film, we got Dan O'Grady. He steals 100 gold coins from a leprechaun while on vacation in Ireland. The leprechaun follows him home, but Dan locks the murderous midget in a crate, held at bay by a 4-leaf clover. 10 years later, J.D. Redding and his daughter, Tory, rent O'Grady's property for the summer. When their new neighbors accidentally release the leprechaun, he goes on a murderous rampage to reclaim his gold. That's kind of wild that they got midget in this
that is a derogatory term.
Yes.
They like to be called little people, from what I understand.
Yes, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, y'all got to change that. Google.
Yeah, got to fix that.
Yeah, so this is a wild thing, man. This is a mixed bag, man. So what's something that stands out to you about
this? All right, well, for starters, what I'm saying, for those that don't know, a leprechaun is a fairy-like creature in Irish mythology, and they're often mischievous creatures who spend their time making shoes or hiding their gold in pots that you can find at the end of the rainbow. And some leprechauns, if you catch them, then they'll grant you wishes like a genie. So with that being said, I like how this story kind of leans into that mythology and keeps that in mind. But it gives us a new perspective, because up until this film, the reason why this film, I feel, has a cult following, which I am a part of that, is because it created its own lane. Before this film, you know, our view of leprechauns in movies, commercials, cereal, TV shows, cartoons, whatever, they were nice, they were friendly. They was like, oh, you want to find a leprechaun, put him in your pocket and keep him around for later. Like, oh yeah, buddy. You know, no. This one,
or we got the Golden Charms. He gives you tasty cereal.
Cereal with marshmallows in it. It's like, man, you know, I can eat healthy and bad at the same time. But
you know, that's kind of interesting, as you say. Bigging up the mischievousness, because even the idea, like as a kid, you think, you know, you get to the end of the rainbow, you find a pot of gold. You didn't think it would be any resistance. You were like, oh, I'm lucky I chased it. But this thing kind of like,
dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, up until this point, you're led to believe that the leprechaun wants you to find it. Like, he's like, yeah, find it so I can make you rich and be your friend for life.
Or you're just gonna have gold with no repercussions.
Yeah, no repercussions. Like, you can if you catch him, then you get a couple wishes on top of the gold, so you already know you don't have to waste your first wish on being rich. Come on now. But with this one, I like that they lean more into this horror element, like, you know, the lore of the leprechaun being as though he doesn't want you to find him or his gold. Like, if you take it, there are going to be these consequences. And I thought that was a really cool approach. And, you know, with that, I like how they really set the tone in the opening scene. Like, it shows him kind of coming down. He's like, yeah, anyone who steals me gold is going to die by the end of the day, kind of thing, saying little leprechaun rhymes and stuff. And you know, that kind of, it worked for me. Like, now this is...
I do. I like the moment we get the intro of him just chilling, hanging out with his gold.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then you know, we segue that right into Mr. Old Man, Crazy Old Man O'Grady comes home. He went to Ireland, supposed to be, you know, burying his mom's ashes somewhere, spreading her ashes out there in Ireland. And he comes back with a bag of gold and a leprechaun. And his wife's like, man, what? You obviously didn't, you didn't stick to the script here with this one, bro. And why'd you bring him back? You know what I'm saying? But, you know, and that really just kind of helps set the tone for
I do
this
wish
story.
we did get to see him finding the gold or discovering it, because that's the thing about these, you know, leprechauns. They're so... Like, that's the only thing on their mind. I don't even know how it works. I don't even think they eat food. Just holding the gold keeps them alive. But then, like, what? How did he catch them slipping? I would have loved to have seen that. Like, a few minutes of that. Because there's some of this film, I think, later that could have been trimmed, and you could have replaced it with, you know, a little bit more of that. Like, how was he able to trick this leprechaun to, you know, where?
Because, I mean, not for nothing, this leprechaun seems, like, super witty. And he's got like magic powers and shit. Like, he can do a lot of things that I don't know what other leprechauns can do, but this guy, he's got it all in the bag. You know what I mean?
Idea for a movie right now. you know how you have Freddy versus Jason. Like imagine Leprechaun versus Gremlins
or Critters.
Because the thing about this leprechaun, he he reminds me of the Gremlins. Like, he's clearly out in his own place. But somehow, maybe it's magic. Same thing with the Gremlins. This dude is full of pop culture references by just going off the way he's cracking his jokes and interacting with
people. Dude, he's a stand-up comedian. Like, I swear, I die laughing every time he kills the pawn shop owner with a pogo stick and starts singing. He's like, this old lep, he played pogo on his lung.
How do you know that? Like this leprechaun got a TV.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen to the radio.
And dude, you know, he not only is he a stand-up comedian, but he's his #1 fan, because he's the only one that hears the jokes and then laughs at them too. It's great.
I mean, well, the circumstances in which he's telling the jokes, it's going to be hard to laugh. I mean, that joke going to have to be killer.
Well, he finds it funny.
but I mean, everybody else around him. I mean, he's trying to kill me.
I don't think I'd be laughing if someone was pogo jumping on me, but you know, but that's
like,
the thing.
You're gonna be running like that was a good one, dog.
Yeah, right. I would high five you, but I'm running for my life, bro. But and that's the thing, like, you know. So we get this leprechaun element out the gate, and it really just gives us a solid base for this story to springboard off of. Because then not only do we get this absurd character in the leprechaun, but we get probably the most naive bunch of people. This crew, I mean, they are oblivious to the max. I mean, it's like they hear a sound, like, what was that sound? Let's go check it out. And then they see something like, oh, am I really seeing that? You know,
I do like the little boy and then the other kid, the neighbors of the property.
Yes,
like because the one dude, like the used to play Francis. What's his name in here?
Oh, that's Mark Holton.
Yeah, he's a little slow in the head, man.
Yes.
And, the funny thing too, I love that part where he's like, "Man, I can buy comic books every week if I."
Yeah, when they find the gold.
Like, but this is like such a simple. Like, my man don't want much.
But that's the thing. Like, what he does, what his character, because yes, they make it very clear that he does have mental issues, and the younger guy played by Robert Hoyt Gordon is Alex. So he's the younger of the two, but they're hooked at the hip. Yeah. And Alex is riding for Ozzy, but Ozzy, he brings the personality and the innocence, the charm to this film because of his innocence and his his shortcomings on the mental aspect. But what we also get is we get like this established friendship between the two of them.
Oh,
that
yeah,
really
buddies,
because like as where Ozzy, when he finds the gold, he's like, "Ooh, I can buy comic books forever." Mm-hmm. Alex is like, "Nah, man, we need to get this. Now we have the money to get your operation, to get your brain fixed." So it shows that
that's all that's stopping it. There's an operation.
Exactly. But that just shows whereas Alex thinks like he's more mentally advanced than Ozzy, he's still thinking like a child too, because there are some things that you just can't fix. But Mark Holton as Ozzy and then Warwick Davis as the Leprechaun, they shoulder this movie. They without the two of them, this movie just doesn't hit. Because
I don't think it really does hit. But maybe meant to say it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. I mean, but you know what? I don't know what justifies a hit. Okay, so let me bring up some numbers for you, because this is a hit to me. I mean, the budget was $900,000, right? Box office, they pulled back 8.6 million, right? But then pulled back another 15 million in VHS and DVD sales.
It's probably more than that.
That's a thunder flip. That's
a hit doesn't necessarily have to be good. I mean, Who Let the Dogs Out went platinum.
All right, we'll call this a come up then. This is a come up.
It was successful. It was successful.
Yes, ultimately yes. You know what I'm saying? And also, as with Warwick Davis as the Leprechaun. Before this, bro, we knew him as Willow. So this is, he really got on the opposite side of the spectrum playing this role.
Well, and that's the thing, though, I mentioned before we started, like, it's messed up in a way, like, there's not many roles for guys like him. Even though this guy was in a big film, a really big budget release, probably one of the most expensive films that was made that year, but he still has to come back and do this because it's not really much work for people like this. Is before the Peter Dinklage era, for Game of Thrones, and you look at what that series did for him as a small person, and he's starring in films, now at this point, like, and he's considered a serious actor. But
this also was, is a testament to the acting that Willow or that Warwick Davis can bring to a film, because they said a large percentage of what was happening with him as the Leprechaun was all improvised. Like he was thinking this stuff up on the fly. Like he even said that, like, those shoes, those big old platform Leprechaun shoes, even though they were hard for him to walk due to his stature and the way his legs work, he actually preferred to wear those because he said when he wore those, it made him feel like the Leprechaun, and he would really embody this role and really just give it 100%. So I mean, like, I know. I mean,
my complaints at this film aren't necessarily coming from him. Like he did what he had to do, and he delivered that, because like you said, he becomes a memorable horror villain, man. He don't get as much recognition in the hierarchy of like Freddy, Jason, and all that.
Or Chucky. Chucky's the most famous.
Or even like
slasher.
wisecracking Krueger, but that's what he reminds me of, and he did a good job, for what the job entails. Like, he's probably the most talented.
He is
in this film,
but ironically enough, what really brought the noise in the VHS and the DVD sales was this being Jennifer Aniston's feature film, because this film actually, oddly enough, was recorded in 1991, but wasn't released till 93. So in that span of time, Friends came out, and then Jennifer Aniston became a household name. That's why on the difference between the movie cover art and the VHS cover art, Jennifer Aniston is on the cover.
Well, the crazy thing is, though, you're right. So this film probably, it did what it did on this theatrical release. Yeah. Friends would come out in 1994 and become a runaway hit. And like you said, in those years, by releasing this thing in different iterations, especially by the time DVD hit, because the VHSs were already out there, but then when people start getting DVDs and all of a sudden Jennifer's a household name, and you see the switch on the cover.
Jennifer Aniston's on the cover of the DVD. Like she's not on the cover of the VHS.
Like when I shared that I was watching this, I used the original cover, but then later on there's the same exact cover, but her face is photoshopped on there.
Yes, indeed.
So it's like when you get those copies of Pumpkinhead 2.
Yeah.
And they put my man McConaughey. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Center. And you're just like, yeah.
I guess. But no, and that's, I mean, it's marketing at its finest hour. I mean, because like I said, I mean, initially, even with just the box office, this film started, the budget being a little under $1 million, and then they turned in almost $9 million. That's a flip in
that's
itself.
Great. You got 10 times over, man. You put $1, you get 10 back.
To triple that back on VHS and DVD sales.
More.
And that's what I'm saying. And not only, I mean, this is not...
And not only that, you've spawned a franchise.
I was just about to say.
That's probably... Yes. Dude. Probably combined by now has probably made close to like $500 million just with rentals and
that's what I'm
whatever.
Saying. And the thing is yes, because of the following and just because of the creativeness that went into this story, like doing something different. This is one of those instances where we talk about this a lot, where if you swing the bat and you miss, cool, at least you swung. Mm-hmm. But this one, even though it didn't hit a grand slam, it's a solid bunt, and they got on base. Mm-hmm. And now, everyone who's a horror fan knows of the Leprechaun. Might not like the films, but you know who he is.
Yeah, I mean, the things also, you get into the other elements. Like, I think the gore and all that's done pretty well. The makeup effects are pretty cool. He's not wearing a mask per se. A lot of heavy makeup though on his face, but it still allows him to be really expressive. Like when he's angry, he looks angry. When he's playing with you, he's smiling. Mm-hmm. And because he's not like a puppet or something, he's got fluid movements. He's really interacting with the people, and he's doing these things. Yes. Like I love when he that deputy grabs his face. Yes. It's just like it then the funny thing about his some of his kills is almost the fear of him gets you killed, because he can only do so much, but then you're so scared. It's almost slapsticky at times.
It is. Shout out to Gabe Bartolos. He was the makeups effects designer for this, and and it works for me because it's scary, but just enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could watch this as a child and still not have nightmares. It's not like
I didn't think this was scary at all. The scariest part to me was in the very beginning when my man comes back for Ireland. And he catches the leprechaun in his house, and he starts to nail him in that crate. And there's a shot of him with the nail in, and his thumb was too close to that damn nail. That's the only part that made me scared. I was like, he's gonna hit his thumb. He's just like, I'm like, and he's got the hammer way up high, not like the little taps you do at first to get it started. He's like, I'm like, man.
But and just speaking on that, like, this film is just, I can't talk about this enough. It's money well spent because it's shot very well. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like the camera work, the angles, like when he's running after the cop, they throw in a little bit of POV stalking stuff going on, and I mean, and there's very minimal effects. Like you might see some green stuff come out of his fingers every now and again.
You think about this film though. This is a film like I was probably older by the time it came. I'm 13. I'm probably like 93, probably like 15. So Wu-Tang, our first album came out. I'm already out there, but I could see parents letting their kids watch this.
Absolutely,
because it's not really particularly scary. It's goofy. There's none of the tropey nudity thrown in or anything. And so it's just really cartoonish violence, and this character is not. He's scary. He's actually kind of funny,
even though it did have an R rating. It's a light-hearted R. Okay, and that's only because I guess due to censorship. A little
bit of dismemberment.
This is when the censorship laws were really changing. Because in the great '80s, this would have been rated G. You know what I'm saying? Like
you could probably get this as a PG-13 with very little cuts. To be honest, man. It's not that.
And also, another thing that I think of when it comes to these effects, like I said, like less is more. But the one part that really stood out to me was the Leprechaun was eating them shotgun shells. Mm-hmm. Dude, he got shot with the shotgun over 6 times, and every time he gets plugged, I mean, you see his little frame just snap back. I mean, it looks real. I'm wondering, like, did they have a little cord on him? Were they really pulling Warwick Davis back like that?
There could be some stuff. They got rigs that they could do to kind of do that stuff. Man, people, or they used to have this thing, I remember, called the air ratchet, where sometimes when you see a guy jumping or getting fly, and it's like a little spring that's loaded with hydraulics, and you can, you know, a stuntman could kind of play off of it.
I'm just wondering, like was it him or I mean either which way
to little people
to the story though it worked like it. I mean every time he got hit I just started laughing and maybe it's not funny but it was funny to me because it looked real. Like I mean he
got a leprechaun man. Lucky Charms out here wilding out man.
Oh and then it was funny too
because like Lucky Charms on crack bro.
And it's funny because then he ends up finding the box of it was Lucky Clovers. It was like off-brand Lucky Charms and he eats them and spits them out.
It's silly, but even some of that stuff is inventive. Like the 4-leaf clover is his cross. Like
I'm glad you brought that up. You know, and that was the thing too, because that was the director actually thought that up. Like that he wanted like to a cross or a wooden stick or a silver bullet to werewolf and vampire. He wanted that to be to the leprechaun. And when they found one, they actually had to glue an extra leaf on. So high five to inventing.
It's hard as hell to find them damn things.
It is.
It is. Found one.
You know, and the only other thing that I could really think of to talk about, like, I like the score. The score, it worked for me, and it was done by Kevin Kinner, and I like it because it has this like majestic creepiness to it, but it also really leans into like the Irish aspect with like the flutes and
some of those,
and it worked. It worked for this style of film, and you know what I'm saying it was effectively used.
I'm not the biggest fan of this one, but Leprechaun in the Hood, man, if that joint's on, I can't.
Dude, you stay advertising that.
I love it because it's so stupid, but it's stupid in the best ways, man. It's like Cocaine Bear. It's like it's dumb, it's crazy, but if you could put your heart into it and make me laugh, I'm there. I'm riding with you,
and
man.
That's the thing too. Like I feel like like to the masses that really bash this film is because they wanted more of a horror element. This is not Nightmare on Elm Street. This is not Child's Play.
This is actually more like the later Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes,
this is Freddy,
4 and above.
Maybe part 3, Freddy.
I don't think he wasn't full on comedian in Dream Warriors.
He was cracking them jokes, man. Rewatch that.
He was getting there.
He was getting there, dog. He like that. To me, that's the ultimate Freddy because them wisecracks was coming, but then the seriousness of what he was doing was still there. But
that's what I'm saying. The first 3 are.
But Leprechaun is definitely taking a lot from Freddy.
It is. Oh, well, and also,
man, that would be hard. Robert Englund versus Leprechaun.
Nah, man, dude, it should be Leprechaun versus Chucky, bro.
I want to see it all.
Leprechaun versus
Chucky versus Freddy. Like,
because I mean, when you look at it, Chucky's, he got to the same way. Like by the time after Child's Play 3, even going into Child's Play 3,
think about it, man.
He was a comedian as well.
Freddy, he needed some money so he could fund like a sleep study facility, which will give him endless victims.
Yes.
But he needs the money to get it started. So he takes the Leprechaun's gold. Yeah. And then boom, it's on.
Not for nothing. I was talking with one of my homeboys at work about this, and we were talking about these kind of movies, speaking of Freddy and things. It's really a testament to the sadistic nature of the killer when you're killing people, maiming them, and then you have the wherewithal to tell a joke while you're doing it.
That's what makes these work, and that's what makes them possible because it's all tone and all that.
Yes.
All that's required.
Yes.
Because you can see a film, it's all tone, it's all how it's done, man. Yeah. If you have Hannibal Lecter cracking a joke, it's not the same as this guy. Hannibal Lecter cracking a joke, I'm gonna be still scared out my mind.
Yeah, bro.
And Hannibal Lecter does crack jokes.
He does,
man.
But
Fava Beans.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not. It don't hit the same.
No, it doesn't.
I'm not laughing at that.
No. It's like, man, shit. I don't think I'm ever gonna eat Fava Beans again. You know what I'm saying? Warped my mind.
He was cracking jokes when he was cutting into Ray Liotta's brain.
Yes, and then feeding it to him.
And I'm like, man, that's all the tonality, and these are done in a fun spirit, man. Like, there was another film we were talking about that. It's like the original Creep Show. Like all of that thing was just done with the fun. We're having fun with horror, and I think horror doesn't necessarily have to be horrifying or scary. It's just a genre where we throw things in that look are a little bit darker,
they're
or look
obscure,
a little bit
they're
nasty.
Different. And you know what?
But you can still have fun.
And yes, and you know what? And now in modern horror, they seem to stray away from that and lean more into the gore. Like you don't need to visually see what it actually looks like if someone gets their stomach sliced and all the intestines times fall out. We don't need that all the time. You know what I mean? Like,
yo, it reminded me of Cocaine Bear. You gotta see that movie. That shit is great.
I'm gonna check that out. Yeah, I want to see that. Oh, gee.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a nutty movie.
Yeah, man. But
have fun with it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, and like I said, I mean, this is not one. It doesn't have high rewatchability. You've seen it once, you've seen it enough, but it's fun. Yeah, it's fun to watch. You know, this is like
I'd argue
it's
that
a
these
period
got
piece.
better, dude. Like as they went on, I would argue because some of these sequels, I feel like they just got more inventive and they just leaned into it more. Even though this was the introduction. But I feel like some of these sequels definitely leaned in, and they had more money to work with too.
Yes, well, obviously,
and they were, So
they found the gold at the end of the rainbow.
Normally,
With this
we see a regression where we get the initial thing that hits, and then they start trying to make them for less and less, and squeezing every buck out of it, and then they start to suffer. Yeah, but it was a solid start, man. I don't know, man. I think we could probably wrap this thing up, man.
Yeah.
And get to our next on our double feature today.
Yeah. Oh man!
But I mean, watch it, man. It's goofy. It's ridiculous, but I mean, hey, that's our life in general.
Hey, man, exactly. And like I said, I give a solid salute for originality. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to try, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Watch this with the point of view that you're going to make fun of it, man.
Yes.
And I think you'll have a good time.
Yes.
Because that's how you get. That's the only way you get through some of this stuff, man. Because you take it too seriously. That's on you.
It's gonna suck. And then I mean,
it's Leprechaun, man.
It's a Leprechaun. How do you take it serious?
How do you take
it? I mean, it's already a mythical creature.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, don't go into this with a serious eye. Yeah, you're just gonna lose.
Yeah, folks. But I think that's it, man. We're gonna wrap this up. It's been another episode of Classic Cinematics. Make sure to subscribe and check us out on Instagram at Classes of Cinematics. And follow From the Canopy Network at FTCNet on Instagram as well. So,
and this Bobby Blockbuster. You can catch me on Instagram at Bobby Blockbuster 118.
Yeah, you can catch me at Monkey Blood on Instagram and Twitter. All right, folks, we out of here. Peace.